Hello and welcome to Project 11. I'm going to be talking about understanding the game and explaining my project in a vlog format. So we're just going to get straight into it. So first of all, what is a technique? So a technique in sport refers to a specific skill or movement that is executed to maximise efficiency and effectiveness. It involves precise control, body mechanics, and the ability to perform consistency with precision under various conditions. So an example of this would be in cricket. So how the batsman grips the bat, or how the batsman positions the bat when he's ready to obviously hit the ball. It says here, the technique of how a batsman grips the bat and positions their body to play the straight dive is an example of a technique because this ensures proper ball contact and control. Okay, so moving on, we're going to go to skill. So what is a skill? A skill in sport is an ability to perform a specific movement or tasks with accuracy and proficiency. Often developed through practice and experience, it combines physical ability and mental focus and the knowledge of how to apply a technique in different situations. So an example of this would be a footballer's ability to dribble past multiple defenders and score in a tight space. This demonstrates on multiple skills. Obviously, the dribbling is a skill. The ability to score in a tight space is a skill. And it also involves the right obviously techniques we just spoke about, and timings and the decision makings under the circumstances. So now I'm gonna compare the both. I'm gonna say what the difference is between a skill and a technique. So the difference between a skill and a technique is that a technique refers to the specific method of performing a movement, while a skill is the overall ability to execute the movement. So a technique is how you do it, whereas a skill is about how you execute doing that technique, if that makes sense. So an example of that would be a rugby player's technique while performing involves a tackle or body positioning and arm placement. So when they're going into a tackle, that's what they need to focus on. However, the skill's ability is to consistently execute an accurate tackles during the match and adapt into different opponent situations. Okay, moving on. Different skill classifications. There's 3 different skill classifications. Obviously, discrete skills, serial skills, continuous skills. So first, we're going to focus on discrete skills. These are tasks with a clear beginning and end, such as a tennis serve, or a football penalty kick. These movements are brief and happen in one distinct action. So, obviously, that's just been explained there. So serial skills are a combination of discrete skills performed in a sequence to create a more complex movement, like a gymnast's floor routine or a basketball layup, followed by a jump shot. Moving on, continuous skill. Because continuous skills have no defined start or end point, and it's a movement that flows in a cycle, such as swimming or running. So it's the repeated, ongoing loop of doing that activity. So if I went for a run, that would be a continuous skill because I'm going that skill over and over again as I'm running, obviously. Right, next up is tactics. So what are tactics in sport? So tactics in sport refer to strategic decisions and actions a team or individual makes during a game to gain advantage over the opponent. So often in football, you see, these big managers like Pep or Klopp, or obviously you've seen it with maybe Slot now. These tactics that are introduced to sort of outwit the opponent. So, I don't know, Pep's tactics are including obviously a lot of short passes to create space. So quite often that's what Rodri does. So he'll play it in and Rodri will bounce pass to create space for the others. So it's not always about how amazing, it can be done. It's often about how you can make that skill or make that pass, how can it affect the rest of the game, or how can it affect a different phase of play? So I think I've explained that. So that's tactics. So now we're going to move on to challenge 1B. So challenge 1B, dribbling. So what is dribbling in football? So dribbling in football is a fundamental skills that involves players using their feet to control and manoeuvre the ball while moving around the field or the pitch. It allows a player to maintain possession, evade defenders, and create space for either themselves or a teammate. Dribbling can be done with various parts of the foot, including sole, inside, outside, and it requires a lot of balance. It also requires agility and quick decision making to successfully navigate your way through opponents. So quite often, obviously, Messi is quite very good at that, so he'll navigate his way through and weave his way through to create space and score or create something else. So dribbling is crucial in football as it allows the players to maintain possession of the ball while evading the defenders, as I've just said in the bit before that. It also enables to create space for other opportunities for the teammates. For example, it breaks down a line, or it breaks, you go past another line. So it allows maybe other players to come into play. So like, I don't know, say you've got a midfielder, let's use a ball carrying midfielder. Let's just use, I don't know, Bernardo Silva. Let's say Bernardo Silva. He'll quite often pick up the ball and drive past a line, break a line, and then that involves the strikers such as Haaland to get involved in play. Obviously, you see a lot of wingers doing it now to try and beat the man 1v1 and create a chance in and around the box. But I'm just using that midfielder as a kind of different aspect of dribbling. As it says here, dribbling in football is performed correctly by maintaining close control of the ball, ensuring it stays within reach while moving. So players should use small and quick touches, precise touches. Got to make sure it's precise. To keeping the body lowered helps the balance in protecting the ball and getting past the defenders effectively. A key aspect is using skills such as body feints, so maybe a drop of the shoulder or a step over or something like that. Right, so now we're going to compare that to basketball. So I'm going to talk through these next couple of skills. And I'm going to compare the football ones to the basketball ones. So dribbling in basketball is an act of continuously bouncing the ball with one hand while moving around the court. It allows the players to maintain control of the ball while advancing towards the basket, setting up plays or getting around defenders. Proper dribbling involves using fingertips, keeping the ball low and close to the body. So basketball players will always use dribbling throughout the game. Effective dribbling is essential because it'll create goal-scoring opportunities scoring opportunities, or maintaining the ball in possession, and when you want to take the sting out of the game, potentially. So moving on, why is dribbling important in basketball? I've just said what reasons why it is important, but I'll go into a little bit more detail now. So dribbling is important in basketball because it allows the players to maintain the ball while advancing towards the basket or setting up plays. It enables players to navigate through defenders, create scoring opportunities, and control the pace of the game, like I just said. So how do you perform the technique right? How do you perform this right? So in basketball, dribbling is performed by using the fingertips of the ball, of your fingers obviously, to bounce the ball, ensuring the ball stays closely and controlled to your body. The dribbler should maintain a low stance with knees bent to provide balance and agility, allowing for quick changes in direction. Players should keep their head up to survey the court. So keep the head up. Quite often in football, you'll obviously keep your head up, looking at that. So that's how they compare. That's probably a similarity. When you're dribbling in basketball, obviously you'll be looking up to try and assess your next move. It's the same with football. Additionally, using various dribbling techniques such as crossovers, behind the back and spin moves helps evading opponents and advancing with the ball. Right, moving on, passing. What is passing in football? Passing in football is the act of transferring the ball to a teammate using the feet, head or other parts of the body. Passing is the fundamental skills in the game as it allows players to maintain possession and move the ball upfield and create scoring opportunities. Accurate passing is essential for maintaining team play and building offensive moves. There are different types of passes such as short, long and through balls, each serving a different purpose. So, playing midfielder, passing midfielder, Kevin De Bruyne. Long passes, short passes, through balls, perfect. So, obviously, midfielders are traditionally renowned for passing the ball. Obviously, when you look at players like Trent now as well, affecting the game with their range of passing from different positions, such as right back for Trent. So passing is crucial in football. So, as I just said, why is passing important in football? Passing is crucial in football because it allows the players to maintain the ball strategically across the pitch. It is also essential for creating attacking opportunities, as accurate passes can break defensive lines and set up goal-scoring opportunities for strikers. Effective passing promotes coordination and fluidity, ensuring that all players are involved and can contribute to the offensive or defensive strategies. Without passing, teams would struggle to organise attacks and the possession of the ball would become difficult to maintain. So that was an article out of Man City's from Man City in 2018. So it just shows these top teams. These top teams do use passing a lot, and that's crucial in football. I should imagine it's the same for basketball. I'll explain that in a minute. The correct technique for passing in football involves the outside, or, to be fair, you can use any part of your foot, but as long as it ensures the precision and the control of the ball. Because quite often you'll see, I think Salah's actually quite good at it, using the outside of his foot to cross the ball or pass the ball. It just depends on the situation, really. The passer should position themselves, their non-kicking foot, so your weaker foot, beside the ball to maintain balance with kicking with your stronger foot, ideally to kick the ball. But obviously, these professionals are both good with foot. They're good with both feet, so that doesn't really apply for them. It's important to follow the flow of the direction to ensure the pass reaches the intended recipient in the right way and weight and accuracy. The player should avoid overhitting the ball to prevent it going off the pitch and maintain a controlled touch for better precision. So quite often the receiver needs to be sharp, needs to be on it for a good touch, because otherwise the pass is rubbish. Right, so moving on, passing in basketball. So passing in basketball is the skill of transferring the ball from one player to the other, like football, typically using the hands with the goal of maintaining possession or creating goal-scoring opportunities. Again, the same as football. It is one of the key components of team play, as effective passing can break down defensive structures and facilitate offensive movements. There are different ways and different types of passes in basketball, such as chest passes, bounce passes, overhead passes, each of which are used in different situations to maximise accuracy and control. Why is passing important? Passing is essential in basketball because it maintains the ball possession to create opportunities and set up good attacking opportunities. I've just said that, I don't know why I said that again. Effective passing enables player to move the ball efficiently around the court, breaking down defensive structures and for allowing easier shots. It also encourages teamwork as players work together to find the best opportunities for the goal-scoring opportunities. Correct technique. Obviously, there's different ways of passing in basketball. You can do the chest pass, the bounce pass, the overhead pass. The correct technique of passing in basketball involves using the fingertips of the ball to control, ensuring the accuracy and control of the ball. Players should stand in an athletic position with their knees bent, which provides better balance and stability. And obviously also movement. The chest pass, the bounce pass and the overhead pass, like I just said, are commonly used. To execute the chest pass, players push the ball with both hands, snap their wrist for added accuracy, so like that. That is the main pass in basketball. You know, you're more than likely going to get the just pass than a bounce pass. Obviously, bounce pass, you bounce on the floor and it goes to the other person. So moving on, shooting in football. Obviously, shooting is where you score goals. So shooting in football is the act of kicking the ball with the intention of scoring a goal. It involves striking the ball with precision, power, typically using the instep or laces, or the inside of your foot to control direction and speed of the ball. A player must assess the position of the goalkeeper, defenders, and the target area to choose the right technique for the shot. So if you go through on goal, you may use power, but you're more than likely going to use your inside of your foot to maintain that control and accuracy to either place it in the corner or drill it into the corner, but drill it with accuracy. Effective shooting requires a combination of technique, timing, and composure, and is a critical skill in football as it converts goals, and goals wins you games. That pretty much emphasising my next point. Shooting in football is the primary way to score goals, and scoring goals is the ultimate objective of the game. Effective shooting allows players to capitalise on scoring opportunities and contribute directly to the team's success. Without goals, you don't win the game. What is the correct technique to performing shooting? I've pretty much gone through this, so it's either using the laces or the outside or the inside. Well, the outside's very difficult, but usually the inside of your foot to curl the ball, or if you want that real power, just maybe a snapshot, laces through the ball, see where it goes. Basketball is a little bit different. Obviously, you can't use your hands in football unless you're a goalkeeper. So shooting in basketball refers to the attempt to score by propelling the ball towards the hoop, typically with a jump shot or a layup. It requires proper technique, including foot placement, hand positioning, and follow through to ensure the accuracy and power. Why is it important? Shooting is critical in basketball because it's obviously a way of winning the game. It's scoring points. Without effective shooting, the team would struggle to accumulate any points and would probably end up losing every game. Whether it's long-range three-pointers or close-range field goals, accurate shooting is essential for a team to be competitive and successful. So obviously you have the three-point goal, certain different goals in basketball. Correct technique for shooting. First, the player should stand with their feet shoulder width apart and knees slightly bent for the balance. Again, the ball is held by the shooting hand under the ball and the non-shooting hand on the side to support the ball. When shooting, the player should use their legs to generate power, pushing upwards while releasing the ball with a flick of the wrist for a smooth follow-through. Tackling. So tackling football, what is it? Tackling refers to the defensive action where a player attempts to dispossess an opponent of the ball. This can be done through various techniques such as standing tackles, slide tackles, block tackles, with the intent to stop a goal-scoring opportunity or to attempt to stop the player from going and progressing or regaining possession. Obviously, tackle has to be clean, has to win the ball, otherwise the foul will be awarded. Why is it important? I've just said that, so it maintains the control of the ball again. The regain of possession, it prevents goals. You basically just get the ball back. It's not hard. The correct technique would be timing is crucial with tackling, obviously, because if a player's running through on goal, you tackle him, you miss the ball, red card. It is what that's the harsh reality of the game. But that's what it is. A player should approach the ball carrier at an angle, stay low to the ground, ensuring the body is balanced, ready to make a controlled challenge. Because obviously you're trying to win the ball, you're not trying to hurt them. For standing tackle, the player should just use their inside of the foot to hook or block the ball, while in a slide tackle, the player intends their leg to make contact with the ball, avoiding dangerous contact with the opponent. It is important for the defenders to maintain control of the body throughout the tackle to be aware of the risk of fouls or serious injuries. Tackling in basketball is very different. It's not really a term used in basketball, as it is more relevant to football. However, basketball features defensive moves similar to tackling, such as blocking or striping the ball from the opponent. These actions require good positioning, timing, physicality, prevent opponent scoring while maintaining control of the ball. Why is tackling important? Tackling is in basketball, although it's not typically referred as tackling. It involves defensive actions like blocking shots, stealing the ball, applying pressure on the ball handler. These actions are essential because they disrupt the opponent's team offensive flow, forcing turnovers and limiting scoring opportunities. How do you do it? Simply get the ball. Tackling in basketball, staying low in a defensive stance, using quick feet and maintaining good hand positioning. Defenders should keep their body between the opponent and the basket with their hands active to attempt steals or block shots without committing a foul. Right, 1C. So, challenge 1C. I'm worried this is going to take a long time. So the tactic is using space. Okay, so using space. Basketball. How is the tactic performed? In basketball, using space effectively involves positioning players in a way that maximises the availability of the court area, allowing for better movement, passing lanes, and shot opportunities. Proper spacing, such as the 4 out and 1 in offensive strategy, ensures that players are spread out, reducing congestion, and creating different lanes or different attacking ways to get to the hoop. This setup makes it more difficult for the defenders to recover, which opens opportunities for outside shooting or quick ball movement. When and why this tactic should be performed? In basketball, effective use of space often creates space opportunities and maintain attacking flow. Proper spacing, typically 12 to 15 feet between players, prevents defensive congestion, allowing for clearer passing lanes and easier dribbling penetration. Additionally, maintaining good spacing makes it more challenging for defenders to execute double teams or help defence, thereby increasing the likelihood of offensive execution. Why do I keep saying that wrong? In football, using space is pretty much the same. It's a fundamental tactic that involves positioning the players to exploit areas on the pitch. I keep saying field in the way. Facilitating the better movement, passing, and scoring opportunities. So quite often you'll see, I watched a video, I think it was Rio Ferdinand and Jordan Henderson speaking about why they were highlighting key areas. I think one of the areas was where Henderson made a run into the channel to allow Trent to come inside to cross the ball. So quite often using space, you have to move out to create that space for another player to move in, and that's what he was very good at Liverpool. I haven't really looked at him at Ajax, to be fair, so I can't really comment on that. Again, it's that 12 to 15 feet between players. It's getting that right distance. Teams like Man City and Liverpool have amplified this approach by deploying players in specific areas such as half spaces to exploit defensive weaknesses and enhance offensive play. When should it be used? So it should be used the whole game. Why the tactic should be used, I've explained already. I've already explained that. It's performed during offensive transitions where players spread out to stretch defence, creating gaps for passes for crucial passes or decisive shots. Man City use this, Liverpool use this, everybody uses this. So, moving on. Set plays. So, how is the tactic performed? So in basketball, set plays have structured defensive strategies designed to create high-quality scoring opportunities. These plays begin with a predetermined formation, such as a 1-4 stack, or the horn set to involve coordination movements like screens, cuts, passes to exploit defensive weaknesses. Execution requires precise timing and communication among players, as more movement is intended to open up space or create mismatches. When and why would this be performed in the selective sport, which is basketball, obviously? Set plays in basketball are typically executed during a specific game situations, primarily after stoppages such as timeouts, fouls, or when the ball goes out of bounds. These scenarios provide opportunities for coaches to design and implement its structure of offensive strategies aimed to create high quality scoring chances. For instance, after a timeout, a coach might call a set play to exploit the defensive mismatch or set up quick goal scoring opportunities, especially when the game is close, or particularly when when a particular player is defended by a weak defender. What have I done here? Got off it by accident. I have to get back to it. In football, right, so in football, set play is also known as free kicks, corner kicks or throw-ins. These situations allow teams to execute rehearsed tactics aimed at creating scoring opportunities. Again, that is very similar to basketball. Quite often teams will use different, different sort of tactics, routines, that's the word. So quite often you'll see maybe for corners, you maybe see someone goes short, drags the player out, crosses it in different way, I'm a Liverpool fan, and I know that against Manchester City, I think Szoboszlai, someone ran in, created the space, Robertson crossed it in, and Salah was able to score. There are different ways of creating chances from set pieces. Obviously, free kicks, you can do like flicks, or you can maybe do pass, then stop to create a different angle. There's loads of different ways. When and why would this be performed? So a free kick or a corner is one when obviously the ball goes out of play and it's come off the defensive team. So say, Liverpool play Manchester City, Salah has a shot, Ederson saves it, corner kick. Likewise for a throw-in, free kick's obviously a little bit different because you have to be fouled in order for a free kick to be given. But these tactics are performed specifically to try and break down opposition. So people take time in training sessions, clubs take time to rehearse these because they know that these set pieces are, big chances really. I haven't spoken about penalties. Obviously penalties are, you've got a 70-30% chance of scoring, in my opinion, with a penalty. Obviously more people score than miss. It's just basically a free shot, isn't it, really? So moving on. Challenge 2A, right, here we go. Substitutions. So, substitutions in football. It used to be 3, it's now 5. It depends on which area you're in. In the Premier League, obviously, you get 5 substitutions. This is for men's. Obviously, for youth team football or maybe youth team football or junior football, obviously maybe a roll-on, roll-off subs. But if we're talking about men's football, I've got written down here, teams are permitted to make up to 5 substitutions during regular time, with a maximum of 3 substitution opportunities to do so. So they only get 3 windows to make those 5 changes, so they can't keep stopping the game, otherwise that would be, time wasting. Also, in extra time, I think it goes to extra time, you get an extra substitution. Obviously, because the players will be playing 120 minutes as opposed to 90 minutes. Concussion can be made. That's an important point, actually. Concussion also. So if a player goes off with concussion, that counts as a concussion substitute. So that doesn't count to the 5 that you've got overall. Sometimes when players go off, they often come back on, so people can get confused with whether either they're going to obviously get substituted, but if they've been injured, they have to go off for a second. So say also that once a substituted player has been substituted, they cannot return to the field of play. If all substitutions are used and a player is injured, that team must continue with fewer players, or if the player decides that he wants to carry on and is able to carry on, then he can carry on, or she. In basketball, substitutions are an essential part of the game and are governed by the rules set of regulations governing bodies such as the IBA, the International Basketball Federation, or the NBA. Substitutions in basketball occur when a coach or team decides to replace a player in the court from the bench. Unlike some other sports, there is no limit to the substitutions that can be made. They can be executed during stoppage play. A player must exit the court before the substitute enters the pitch. Substitutes can enter for various reasons, including fatigue, injury, or strategic changes, and may be rotated in and out throughout the game, depending on the coach's decision. Sanctions. So sanctions in football are disciplinary actions taken for rules or violations that have been outstretched, with the most severe one being the red card, which results in the player being sent off the pitch. Players who receive a red card are usually faced with a ban for future matches, for like a 3-match ban. Players who receive a lengthier ban are usually things like violence or violent conduct or serious foul play can lead to bans, additional penalties such as fines. In addition to on-field behaviour, footballers are also prohibited from betting on matches to maintain the integrity of the sport. Violating betting rules can result in further sanctions, including long-term bans and fines. So a notable example of this was Danny Simpson, the Leicester right-back, was banned for 6 months after breaching betting regulations. A lot of players do this. Sandro Tonali did this. I think Daniel Sturridge did it at one point when he was at the team in wherever he was. I think it was Anderlecht or something like that. A lot of players do it, and it happens. So they're the sanctions. They probably get a 6-month ban because they're the rules. I know Ivan Toney got banned as well, obviously. He was out for a long time. In basketball, sanctions are imposed for various rules and violations, such as technical or flagrant fouls, which can result in a player being ejected from the game. Repeated offences are severe. Bad fouls can lead to more severe things, such as suspensions or fines. Basketball has strict rules against betting, with players, coaches, and officials prohibited to gamble on the games to preserve the sport's integrity again. And it also can lead to match fixing. Violating this rule, once again, like football, can result in more serious consequences, such as lifetime bans. As it says here, a notable example of is Tim Donaghy, an NBA referee who was banned for a life and sentenced to 15 months in prison after being involved in a betting scandal. So, there are serious sanctions that can be introduced for this. Next, illegal positioning. In football, the most common concept of illegal positioning is a player ruled to be offside. This is where the player. This is a movement. The ball is passed to them. They are closer to the opponent's goal line than both the ball and the second to the last defender. Unless they're in their own half of field, the offside rule prevents players from goal hamming or positioning themselves in front of a goal to gain an unfair advantage. For example, if a striker's standing just past the last defender when a teammate passes the ball, the referee or the linesman will call for offside and the opposition will get a free kick. In basketball, illegal positioning typically refers to the illegal screens or the 3-second violation, and the illegal screen occurs when the player sets or picks up a screen without establishing a legal position first, such as failing to give the defender enough time to avoid the screen. This results in the turnover of possession. Another example of legal positioning is the 3-second violation, which can occur in offensive players maintaining the painted area near the basket for more than 3 seconds while their team is in possession of the ball. This rule prevents players from camping in near the basket, ensuring the game stays dynamic and competitive. For example, like centre remains in the paint for more than 3 seconds without actively attempting to score without the ball. Start/restart in play. So in football, we have throw-ins, goal kicks, free kicks, penalty kicks. Obviously, when goals go in, the game begins with a kick-off. This is from the centre circle, and every time that a person scores, possession returns to the opposite team, but the ball is kicked off from the centre circle. Throw-ins is a restart in play. The ball goes out of the touchline. and the team who did not touch the ball last is awarded with the possession of that throw-in. A goal kick restarts play, a corner kick restarts play, and a free kick restarts play after a foul has been committed, with the opposing team gaining possession at a location of the foul. Basketball. In basketball, such as the opening tip-off, so restarts in play, such as the opening tip-off after a basket and the following stoppages in play. The game begins with the tip-off, where the referee tosses the ball up in the air and the two opposing players jump to try and gain possession. After the basket that the team has gone in, same with football, so after a goal goes in, after a basket goes in, resumes play with the opposite team, where reducing the ball from the baseline. Moving on, regulations. In football, players are required to follow strict regulations regarding their equipment to ensure safety and uniformity on the pitch. According to FIFA's laws of the game, players must wear standard kits that include jerseys with sleeves, shorts, socks, shin guards or shin pads, and appropriate footwear. Additionally, they're prohibited from wearing any dangerous jewellery, watches or metal accessories that can be harmful to either them or an opposing player. If you do get caught with these, obviously you can get fined for wearing stuff like this. It's interesting actually. You can wear helmets, because Petr Cech obviously wore that helmet when he was at Chelsea and Arsenal. So basketball, players are allowed to dribble/pass and shoot with the ball and attempt the points while adhering to the boundaries of the court and the shot clock. Defensively, they can make block shots, steal the ball, and guard the ball without making illegal contact or committing a foul. Officials in football, right, so here we go. In football, officials, including the referees, assistant referees and linesmen, and are responsible for ensuring the game is played fairly in accordance to the establishing rules. They enforce laws penalising fouls and official offside violations and other infractions, while making critical decisions such as awarding free kicks, penalty kicks, yellow cards, red cards and goal kicks. Referees monitor the game's time, additional time, when necessary, and prioritise players' safety when injuries occur. Basketball officials include referees and umpires are responsible for maintaining the flow of the game, ensuring the players adhere to the rules. Their primary duties involve flowing, making decisions, fouls, violations such as travelling with the ball, and other decisions and infractions during the game. Officials are also managed to award free throws and proper execution of inbound passes and an accolation of possession after the certain stoppages in play. Equipment, according to the FIFA, the Federation of International Football, players should wear shorts, shirts, socks, along with football boots designed to provide grips for the playing surface. The most critical piece of goalkeeper equipment for a goalkeeper is wearing, obviously, goalkeeper gloves to improve grip on the ball, whilst also padding hands. Football itself is a spherical, typically made of leather or synthetic materials, and are designed to make a durable and easy handle. In addition, the goalposts and nets are key components of the game, and the marking areas for for the box, lines. Obviously, officials used whistles to stop play. I'm trying to think of any other things that you have in football that you use, really. Not really anything else, to be fair. Equipment in basketball consists of several key items, which is typically made of the basketball, obviously, you need, which is typically made of leather, circumference of 29.5 inches for men's play, and women's is 28.5. Players must wear a uniform consisting of jerseys and shorts designed to be breathable and raised and ease of movement. Obviously, need to be the same colour as their own team, otherwise to confuse kick clashes. Often why teams have, obviously in football as well, often why teams have three shirts. So make sure that you don't get any confusion of that. Scoring system in football is simple. a team scores, a point's awarded to the team. You know, every time you score, it's a goal. You know, a goal is counted when the ball entirely crosses the line between the goalpost and beneath the bar. Typically divided between two halves, with most goals at the end of the match wins the game. You know, same with basketball. Scoring system, the number of points accumulated by the teams, depending on the player's position in court. So it's a little bit different in basketball. 2 or 3 points you get from that. If a player has made a shot from behind the 3-point line, it is worth 3 points. If a shot is made inside the arc, it's worth 2 points. Players can also score points through free throws, which are awarded after certain fouls. Challenge 2B. Right, we're nearly there. I'm aware this is a long video. So, this is an example of a player in an illegal position. So here, this is Harry Kane against Leeds. This video includes Harry Kane being offside in the match between Spurs and Leeds. In the video, he's offside. I've explained earlier what offside is. It's very tight. However, you can see in the still image that you can see the left foot of Harry Kane is playing himself offside. So that is an illegal thing in basketball. Example of a player being in an illegal position in basketball is when they violate the 3-second rule. Again, I've explained it already. I've included a link which demonstrates and explains the rule that goes with it. The ball going out of play. So in football, I've included a video of Newcastle versus Arsenal. The ball is deemed to not go out of play. However, it looks like it does go out of play. And you can see with the still image, this was probably a mistake because the ball clearly goes out of play. But it's interesting just to see the VAR. Obviously, VAR has been introduced in football now to try and intervene with mistakes made by the referee. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do like it. They've said that the curvature of the ball is keep it in play. I can kind of see where they're coming from, but I mean, I think it's gone out of play. But that is so. What happens when the ball goes out of play? Obviously, I've said this before. The ball goes out of play. It's resumed with a throw-in, goal kick. You know, centre kick. Finally, when the ball goes out of play in basketball, typically means the ball has crossed the boundary lines of either courts, either the sidelines or baselines. In such cases, the opposing team is awarded possession of the ball and the team has last touched it before they went out of possession. Players resume with an inbound pass from the spot where a ball went out. Other situations can cause the ball to go out quickly, include violations like player stepping out bounds while including the ball to commit backcourt violation in any case. The game resumes with the team gaining possession and inbounding the possession from the appropriate spot. That is a lot of information. I hope that's made sense, and I'm done.